Well, it's a sunny Tuesday morning here. I'm out with my multimeter and I'm going to check the problem, or try to figure out what the problem is with the 12 volt outlet. So I was on the Kia forums .co.uk site last night and I asked about how to remove that. So supposedly the best method is to lift up this trim and then you get access to it from behind, so that will save time from taking the center console out. So I've got a pry tool. I'm going to pry it in here and then lift it up. So I've already put the thing in, so what I did was I pushed it in at the bottom there and then it gave enough just to pull it up slightly. So it is now disconnected. There we go. Now you can definitely see I've got access now to the connectors. I should really take this stuff out of here. So anyway, I'll clear this stuff out of here and then I'll get access to the connectors at the back there for the 12 volt outlet, and I'll probably sit in the passenger seat to do that. Okay, so I've taken all the crap out that little cubby hole and now I have complete access to the connector for the 12 volt socket. So I'll just need to take this connector off. I'll need to figure out how you get it off. I don't know if that's a tab there or not, but anyway, I'll need to look at that and see how it comes off. And then the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to test for voltage using the voltmeter, and then after that I'll need to have a look at the actual socket if it is getting 12 volts to it. Right, it appears that just simply pushes and pulls off. No release clips or anything. So big shout out to VTech E with regards to the advice for getting this trim off. Well, you just have to take my word on it, but these probes, I don't have the ability to stick it in and leave it and take a reading. But the voltage at the battery, I think, is 12.4, and I'm seeing 11 point something at this terminal. So that was the positive one on the right hand side, and at the top was the negative. So there's definitely voltage getting to that. So I'm looking at that. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. See how that's loose? I wonder if it's just a case of the terminal's not tightened up and it's getting a, that's the positive as far as I understand, and that's the negative. So maybe that needs to be tightened up to make a circuit. So we'll check that out. I'll get a small spanner and see if I can tighten that up. Right, I've taken this out of the way completely to get more access to it. So to get this part, I don't know how you take the top of the gear stick off, but to remove that part you just push these tabs in and then it will push down, and then you'll get this off. You'll thread it through that hole, remove that. The most difficult part to remove is the clip for here. So the trigger is right there. That'll release it, but that was a bit of a fiddly clip, but yeah, that's how you release it. So here we go. There's the wiring. So that's the positive and that's the negative. So that's working. There's power to that. I did try tightening that 8mm nut up. It's more secure, but I'm not getting any joy. So I'll need to do some sort of continuity test, I guess, to see how that works. But there is something kind of blocking the connector there. You see that? It's like it's not quite a circle. So I don't know if something's just getting in the way of the positive, but I'll see if I can remove this now. Okay, so like I showed in the previous video, I pushed the tab in. I just used a hook tool, push in the plastic tab. So you put a little bit of pressure on this end, and then it should come out. Now, so there's where you get the access to the tabs there and there. You can see the tab. There's one tab there, and there's one tab in there as well. So as long as you push them from the inside, let's see if I can show you. So you're going to go in with your tool. I think there's probably a proper tool for that. But you're basically going to poke that in there, and then this is going to come that way. And you do the same for the other side. So, let's see what we can see here. You see what I mean? That's kind of obscured. So, I'm going to completely undo that 8mm nut and have a look and see how far I can disassemble this. But if not, good job. If not, I'll just order. I think you can get a couple of these on AliExpress. They're next to nothing, maybe just over £1. So I'll disassemble this and see what I can do with regards to verifying it can take an electric circuit. So obviously you've got the positive comes in there, and you've got the negative. So presumably I can do a continuity test by short circuiting it, as it were. But anyway, I'll have a fiddle about and post the update. Right, so there's the nut that held on this, then went onto that, went onto this, and then went into there. So this is the internal part, and I don't know if that's, there you go, you can see there's a bit of like plastic obstructing that. So I'm wondering if it's just a case of I need to clean that up and make sure it's not obstructed. So that's the first thing that's coming to my mind, that's being obstructed, so it's not getting the let me see if I can show you. So obviously the positive should go on there, so I'm just wondering if the plastic is stopping the connection from going into there and making a complete circuit. So that's where my thoughts are. Let's see if I can clean it up. Well, that's that cleaned up. It was definitely obstructed. I don't know if that was melted plastic or what, but I'm going to put it back in. There is like a bit of erosion. I've just scraped it with the knife I was using to clean it out. So we'll see how that goes. So I'll need to reassemble the cigarette or 12 volt outlet, and we'll do a test. Well, that's it reassembled. You can see that pitting at the bottom on the positive connector, so I don't know if that's had any effect. Maybe something's heated up and it's melted their surrounding plastic. That could be what's gone wrong, but as the fuse hasn't blown, or maybe the fuse was replaced, that's kind of masked the problem perhaps. So that'll be the positive connector. It's all nice and secure, it's not moving about. So you've got a threaded bolt basically holding that black plastic insulator into the negative cylinder. So in theory, the positive connector is going to go down, touch the middle, and then the negative connectors are going to touch the body and form a circuit. So the proof of the pudding, as they say, is in the eating. Let's see if it's made any difference at all. Right, I've turned the ignition on. All the lights are on. Now, here we go. Here's the big reveal, guys. The big reveal. And look at that. Power has been restored. So, in this case, it was either a loose connection, which may have caused some sort of short and melted the plastic, or just simply the plastic melted, breaking the circuit. So there was no positive connection. So I did do some other tests, like putting the terminal, the multimeter onto the terminal and then touching it, and I was getting it, but all down to a bit of melted plastic, I reckon, or the loose nut, or a combination of the two. So there you go. That wasn't too bad a little job for the day. Right, so now that I'm feeling pleased with myself, you'll see there's one of the lugs there, and there's one of the lugs there. So if we look down through, you'll see they're kind of like a 10 and 4 position. So 10 and 4 is going to be like that. So that's going to be 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock. And then I'm going to slip that down into that orifice without lubrication. Oh, for now. So I'll do that with 2 hands, and then I'll reconnect the connectors. Okay, so what I did was I pushed it in. That's the tab there, I think, and the tab there. So just push it down, you'll see where it comes to, and then just twist it and it'll lock in place. So now it's not going to come out if you put a tight adapter in there, it won't drag it out. So that's that. So next thing, attach the terminals there and the terminals here. That should be good. And as I would suggest, it's good practice before you put everything back together, just to ensure that it is still working. So I'll turn off the flash. There you go. I've got power. That's not a problem. So that will now allow me to hook up my Xiaomi dashcam. I think I'm actually going to get myself a hardwire kit rather than use this outlet. But anyway, that's successful. So the next thing is going to be putting the boot for the gear stick back in. If anybody knows how you actually take off the gear knob on these gear sticks, I'm happy to hear. I've never had to take one off, but I mean the gator's pretty decent on this, but there is a little bit of wear. I'll show you that once I get it back on. But yeah, pleased with that outcome. A nice simple little fix on a Tuesday morning. I didn't show this before, but obviously bring the gator up through this opening, and then you're going to push it back down once you've got this into place. And it's one-handed, obviously, not the best way to deal with it, but that's it into place, and then yeah, so that's that, and then ignition on. Yep, power is restored, so that's a job well done. So thanks very much to the folks on the Kia forum for telling me how to take this part off. Anybody else doing it? Obviously, you could use anything that you want to prise that up, but I would definitely recommend you use something plastic, otherwise there'll be more damage to the trim. So that's that. So I've still got the strut to sort out and the ESC light, but anyway, I'm happy that that's now fixed. So I'll get this put together and posted up. Yeah, there's a tiny bit of wear on this. You can see it there a little bit. See the marks, just the creases. But again, it's not too bad. There's a little bit there, bit here. But yeah, I suppose if you wanted to, you can see there, just a little bit. Again, it's not drastic. I mean, I'm not going to change it just now, but at some point that may need to be done, and it's the same detail as far as I'm aware for the seed, and it'll probably need done at some point now that it's nearly on 200,000 miles. But anyway, that's enough waffling from me. So feel free to like and subscribe, and if you've got any suggestions, put them in the comments, and I'll respond. Cheers then. Have a good day.